Welcome back everyone, it's Electrified 90s, and in this video I am going to be talking about anatomy of a crime. So in the last video, I'm picking up from the last video where we went to see Detective Raymond, where he asked us to go and autopsy the body of the dead suspect, the dead victim or witness who was witness to a crime and was meant to be helping us try and narrow down which of the suspects was guilty. So this is part of the main quest, which is Busy but Confidential, where we need to go through these 4 suspects. So we got Kalkstein, Ramsey, Thala and Vincent. So what we need to do is gather as much intel as we can to clear all of the suspects who are innocent and find the guilty suspect. So in one of the previous videos we were attacked in St. Levioda's hospital when we were trying to interrogate the witness, and after that he was killed, and now what we're going to find out is we're going to do an autopsy because we believe that the person who killed him was one of the suspects and they're trying to cover it up. So Raymond has asked me to seek the help of Shani in order to do this. So I'm going to start off by speaking to Shani.
Geralt,
we need
to talk.
At night. We can't do it when she's at
Some
the
people
hospital.
died in a fight at the hospital. Were you involved? Explain yourself.
I wanted to question a prisoner, one of your patients, but thugs interrupted us. It was their bodies the guard discovered later.
Anyway, the prisoner is being transported to a safe location.
Thanks, Shani.
Just watching out for you.
Shani, I wanted to ask you something. I need your help with an autopsy.
An autopsy? Since when do you deal with stuff like that?
Since I started investigating
Okay, though, I'm no coroner. You'll have to interpret our findings. We'll meet in the evening. Until then, gather as many clues as possible.
I'll sniff around.
Get the body from the gravedigger. We'll meet at the hospital in the evening.
How do I find information to help the autopsy?
Ask Vincent Mice, but also look for books on anatomy and pathology.
Farewell.
Okay, so trying to get advice from Vincent at this point in time because we haven't cleared him as a suspect is a no-go. He will just flat out refuse to give you any advice. So the next thing is to buy that book. So I'm just going to open up the map, and if we look over here, here we go, we will find the antiquarian. So just below Shani's house, so we are here at Shani's house, and you've got the antiquarian just down here. He's the person that we need to get the book about forensic science. I've already bought that, or forensic medicine. I've already bought that book, and I just need to read it. So just right click it to read it and then close it, and now we're able to do the autopsy. The next thing we need to do is get access to the body. So what we'll need to do is we'll need to meditate.
Yeah.
So speaking to Shani, we can just meditate here. So we'll just meditate during the day. Meditate to the day. In order to see the gravedigger, so he can give us access to this body. Now Shani is now at the hospital, no longer here. So this is the antiquary that we got the book from before.
You bring trouble.
I'm so clever.
Now we're going to see the gravedigger.
My throat's dry.
Eternal fire, fill my heart.
What?
You seem
Some.
Maybe you can
No.
I see.
What do you need?
A prisoner died recently. Is he in the cemetery already?
Don't know. You can have another body. They all reek the same.
I'm after a specific...
Particular. Examine.
Okay, so again, this body is a body of one that was in prison. At the same time, Geralt was there, and he'd been locked up, and this prisoner has since been killed. And we believe it to be one of the suspects that has killed him.
Could you hand over the prisoner's body for an autopsy?
For a bottle of dwarven liquor.
Okay, so we've got a couple of options to be able to get access to this body. We can either give the gravedigger a bottle of dwarven liquor, or if you ask to try and see if there's something else you can do, he asks you to clear his debts with Tala. But in order to do that, we need to clear Tala as a suspect, which we're not in a position to do right now. So the next best option is to give him some Mahakaman mead.
Nothing like a good drink.
About the prisoner.
Where you want the
At the hospital.
It'll be there by evening.
Farewell.
Okay, so it's going to be there this evening, so what we need to do now is meditate until after dusk, and then Shani will be there with the body waiting for us.
What's this?
In order to do the autopsy. So, just gonna meditate just after dusk. Okay, so here's Shani. So before we start the autopsy, just wanted to provide some extra info. At the end of the last quest, we noticed that our medallion was vibrating very violently, and it's been set to detect monsters. And that was very weird considering that Detective Raymond is not a monster. So let's see if that can provide some extra intel for us while we do this autopsy.
Ready for the autopsy?
Let's get started.
Race, human.
Shani, this...
Whatever you say. He died yesterday, torn to pieces.
A werewolf?
The moon's shining. Wouldn't he turn into a lycanthrope?
I guess.
Geralt, no.
Could a human have inflicted these wounds?
Only with a 2-foot jaw.
What do you think?
It could have been ghouls.
So, he was torn to pieces after he died. I'm interested in the cause of death.
I also see some stab wounds. A blade 2 fingers wide.
So immediately he wants you to try and say it's ram's meat, but we're not going to do that.
External signs aren't everything. His neck muscles and palms look tense. How do you know when he died?
Normally I base it on muscle stiffness and dehydration, but rigor mortis is persisting for too long.
They say successful autopsies are based on curiosity. Should we look?
Let's check his internal organs. The symptoms are peculiar, and the cause of death, too.
Those wounds are too obvious. I suspect something more. Poison?
If so, a rare sort. Perhaps an alchemist's brew.
Kalkstein?
Ah! Liver's completely cirrhotic. It was obviously a potent poison. This stinks of alchemy.
So that's another person that this suspect is trying to implicate. So first ram's meat, now Kalkstein.
This is too easy.
Life can be simple sometimes.
Are you certain poison is the only explanation for the unusual rigor mortis?
The most likely cause.
I have a sinking feeling there's more to this.
We can try the coroner's last resort, opening the skull.
So if you'd have chosen the other option, it would have implicated Kalkstein. So let's have a look at the skull.
Opening the skull, always a pleasure. See that in the brain?
Larva of the Zeracanian tsetse fly.
But how did they get in his brain?
It's part of their development cycle. If we were in Zeracania, I'd say a fly crawled up his nose and laid its eggs.
We're in Temeria.
Our climate is too cold and dry for the tsetse fly. Even if someone brought eggs, how would they get up his nose?
What do these eggs look like?
Tiny, white, like flour.
Or Fistek? Geralt, I gave him Fistek before he died. He was suffering terribly, and we had no other anesthetics. I thought it was safe.
Where did you get it?
From your friend, the detective. He told me it was from special stock.
Raymond.
Then we have a problem.
He added eggs to the Fistek, then came here at night to fake the other evidence.
That doesn't sound like Raymond at all.
My medallion vibrates whenever I see him lately. And Zeracania? That's where Azar Javed is from. The real Raymond may no longer be with us.
But I saw him just yesterday.
Azar's using an illusion, trying to manipulate me. Thanks, Shani. I couldn't have figured it out without you.
What will you do now?
I'll talk to Kalkstein first. He should help me prepare.
Okay, and that completes the quest Anatomy of a Crime. And it also thus clears all the previous suspects of their previous potential guilt, and ultimately comes down to Azar Javed, which we are chasing since the beginning of this game. Thank you very much for watching. Let me know in the comments what you thought of the video. Like, subscribe, and continue watching.